Microphone check.
What?
1, 2, 1, 2. This is the Blaze the Lion podcast. I am your host, Blaze the Lion, Blaze Doctari. Blah, blah, blah. Indeed. This is season 4 of the Blaze the Lion podcast. And for this month of October, all month, we are asking the question, why fathers? And everybody has their own answer to that question or answers. Why fathers? So, why not have this conversation with fathers? Yes, indeed. As fatherhood is quite a journey. Fatherhood has changed my damn life.
Yes.
Whew. So, this is very necessary. As we all have different journeys as fathers. So, I found it only right and just very necessary to have this conversation with some of my fellow fathers here, as some of you may know. This guest is no stranger to the pod. He's been here before. That's why we said DJ Smoove, because that might ring a bell when we had our DJ theme. I think that was in January, top of the year.
In a minute.
Yeah. So, why fathers? This is also episode 82. Indeed. Those who are loving the podcast, again, I want to say thank you. And thank you for your support in various ways. From those who support with sharing, with comments, with just prayers, those who support on the financial end as well. If you'd like to support, feel free. You can go to anchor.fm/blaze the lion/support. And right there at the bottom of the screen, we got 3 tiers right there, from $1 to $5 to $10 a month. And I'm not wearing it today. I think I wore it last week. The Blaze the Lion podcast tees that are out as well. And man, listen, we have so much in store. Life is full of the unexpected. Full of the unexpected. So we got things clogged in a pipeline. We got things unraveling. And ultimately, we have things to impact our lives, right? Because that's really what we're doing this for. It's not to get shine. It's not to get applause. It's not to boost egos. This Blaze Alarm podcast is truly just a platform for others to showcase their brand and ultimately make a difference. Those walking in their purpose. And I love to highlight those walking in their purpose because it's very, very powerful, especially in this world that we're living in right now.
Yeah.
Sheesh. So, with episode 82 and all month long for October, we're asking the question, why fathers? For those who see the branding and you see the flyers that come out and everything, I want to give a shout to our sponsor, Star Child Social. If you're looking for direction for your business, for your brand, looking for logo design or help with your website, or maybe just a facelift to your company, to your brand, to your digital social media presence, well, look no further. Go to starchildsocial.com and talk to them. They may just point you in the right direction. Indeed. And tell them that Blaze sent you. They may give you a discount or a high five. Either way, it's all positive. All right. So tonight's guest is someone who, again, I said is no stranger to the pod. Someone who is a entrepreneur, a professional, someone who is passionate about his craft. But tonight, we're really not talking about DJs, though he is a phenomenal DJ. I'm not just saying that because I've worked with him, but truly, I've seen his work outside of Ice Squad, and he's a perfectionist. He takes his craft seriously. He's educated many. But tonight, well, we want to talk about fatherhood. So coming to the pod, none other than DJ Smoove. I'm still gonna call you DJ Smoove though.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good, man. I'm doing well. Definitely honored to be here. Talking about fatherhood, being a father is something that is near and dear to my heart. People that really know me, like my close friend, close family, this is one of those topics I talk about all the time. I talk about fatherhood. I talk about being a father. Of course, my kids hear all the time about me being a father. I mean, it's just like, yo, this is my topic right here. This is the one that I truly, truly, where my heartbeat is
Mm,
fatherhood for sure.
mm, mm. Yeah. Um, I mean, as I mentioned to you previously, being a father is life changing,
Yep,
and you really you think you can prepare for it, but it's it will test you. It will give you patience. It will give you an awakening.
yep,
It'll cause some anger. It'll have you checking your own damn self
yep.
and your own ethics and just so much. So, um, but before we go there, just share a little bit about yourself for those who
Okay,
may not know.
so those of you that know me, DJ Smoove, yo, a little bit of my story. I have 5 children. Five, you know what I'm saying? I've got 31, 26, 21, 12, and I got a 7-year-old. And yeah,
Aren't
that's
you 35?
yeah, I'm 35.
Oh, okay.
Had them when I
Okay.
was 12. Nah, just kidding. But yo, I've got five. I got 4 girls and 1 boy, the next to last. The 12-year-old is a boy. And being a father for this long, I'm also a grandfather, of an 8-month-old. So
Mm,
being a father this long has really it's been a long journey, humbling journey. So that's my fatherhood journey. And I know some of y'all like, well, how many baby mothers you got? Nah, let's stop.
that is the question.
Okay, so I've been married before, so I had 3, and then I'm married now, so I've got 2, so that makes 5.
Okay.
Okay, and like I said, I got a granddaughter as well from the second in line. The second seed, and I call them seeds, and I do, and I hope nobody takes offense to that. I do call my kids seeds because they are the seeds of my life, and I'm the seed of my father. It's just the lineage. It's just a term that I use, but I read somewhere that people kind of take that a little sideways, but I don't care. I love my seeds. They know that. I talk to them pretty much every day, somehow, some way, and that's what's up. So that's a little bit of my journey. So as far as like my professional journey, I'm from New York City. Went to the military, finished that career, tired from the military. When I got out, I was like, yo, I'm gonna really make a run for this music thing. And it's been an incredible thing. And my path in music has been uh, I started and focused on being a DJ, but as a DJ and my interests, I started entering into production, into video production, and making documentaries and shooting video and film, and integrating that sound element into the acoustics of all these types of projects that we call multimedia today. And that's what I do now full time. Is I do DJing. I have a DJ school. I have a nonprofit that I started back in 2003. And as I moved around in the military, I always ingrained myself and was a father figure to many kids, many young adults along the way in every place that I was stationed. And that's called the S Foundation. And recently we launched a DJ and music production academy, but we just don't teach the music, we teach social and emotional learning as well. And like I said, I'm a
Mhm.
father figure to middle school kids now because that's where we're at. We're in one middle school. Coming in 2023, we will be with the Parks and Recreation, a few middle schools. And like I said, being a fatherhood figure, and I am a father in the classroom. I love them like that, but I love them tough. And I don't, I don't really give them any chances because the world doesn't give them any chances.
Mm.
And I'm pretty strict and I'm pretty on it because I want them to learn the craft of music and to be creative. But I also want to be well-rounded musicians. So when people talk to them, that they look them in the eye. When people say, "Hey, you did a great job," that they look that person in the eye and say, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And they present themselves and they don't look away and they make sure that they look good, they sound good, they talk good. We work on those things every day in class, all the time. So that's a little bit about me.
Mm. The youth, man. I've spent some time in schools. I spent quite a few um, moments in school, and these kids, man, they you see many of them. They tend to easily look up to folks, and I feel that it's important that we have positive role models, positive reinforcements in school, because this is not bashing the entertainment industry or anything like that, but many times kids feel, especially the inner city kids, especially like the minority kids, they feel like the only chances to really succeed is be an athlete or be a entertainer.
Say it, a rapper.
Yes.
A rapper or sports. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
and let's not even say sports anymore. Cause it's either football or basketball. Y'all they ain't
Yeah.
even looking at golf. They not looking at tennis. They ain't looking at baseball. They not looking at all these other sports that's out here that they doing. They looking towards those two industries right there,
Yeah.
and we kind of failing them. The music industry is failing them. We're failing them. But hey, we got to do what we can at the
Hmm.
levels that we at to affect the people and the kids. I mean, it's not just the kids; it's the young adults too. It's the
Yeah.
other teachers that are around. We got to affect them too.
Hmm.
It's not an easy task, but yeah, it's just two paths. Now think of all the professions in the world and they on and the options that we have presented, they
Yeah.
only think there's two. There's probably 200,000 professions, and they only thinking that there's two.
Yeah.
That's some sorry odds right there. Like the odds are you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not build a career, but there's other ways to get around it. You know what I'm saying? But that's
Yeah.
it's my soapbox I'm standing on.
Even even with sports, right? You have different facets of sports,
Got the
right? You
youngest,
can be the business
videography,
side, the
the
attorneys, the
management, yep, all that, yep. And that's, I mean, to think that you can only be a player
hmm
or an actual rapper.
yeah,
Think of how narrow that is.
yeah,
Where it should be wide open. Not knocking those professions,
sure,
but we just can't think that's the only way. It's so many different avenues within that arena. So
yeah, yeah, for sure. As Smoke mentioned, kids,
smoke.
we're not bashing. What else? We're not bashing those avenues because, again, right? There are talented artists. There are artists that have changed the game, that have
Absolutely.
changed the world, right? Which I thank God for. Um, but the odds, again, if you're only looking through two avenues, the odds are stacked way, way up.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
now,
let me just add on to that
mhm,
because this is what I tell my kids all the time, my own children.
okay.
I tell them this all the time. If you're going to do something, whatever it is, I don't care. Whatever you choose to do, you have to be a professional.
Hmm.
I tell all my kids that. A professional. What is a professional? Someone that has it on the wall. Okay? Just because you paid for something, yeah, you are a professional. But you got to have the thing on the wall. Because when you have the thing on the wall, and I'm talking about a degree, I'm not talking about a certificate. I always tell my kids, you got to have degrees. Degrees, not one. You got to have degrees. Because professional, when you're a professional with the thing hanging on the wall, you're going to be able to, I tell my kids, you're going to be able to get in a room that can only be open by being a professional with the certificate, with the diploma, not just the diploma, with the degree hanging on the wall.
Mhm.
And so if a person wants to be a musician, I always say to my kids, you want to do music, you want to do dance, well, go get a degree, and then you're going to be good to start. Okay. Then once you're in that new room, new opportunities open up. And then when you choose what you want to do with that, you got to be a professional again. So, say, like my daughter, my second daughter is a dancer.
Okay.
I stressed the same thing to her. I was like, Jade, that's my second daughter. Yo, you got to be a professional. I know you love dance, but you got to get a degree. Why? Because if you get a degree, you can get hired on and be a dancer as a profession in the school system. But you still got to know how to do a project, work with other people, submit a budget. You have to know what business is about. You have to know about interpersonal relationships. You have to know how businesses work. You have to be able to put together a business plan of your ideas. You have to be able to work inside the boardroom, outside the boardroom, with children, with adults. You need to be able to practice that. Those things are going to come when you are learning in higher learning. Now, a lot of people say, but that doesn't guarantee you a lot of money. You're right. That is correct. But when someone knows that you have the degree on the wall, they know you went through those things. You went through a struggle and you surpassed that struggle of life and learning things that didn't make sense and trying new things. You made it to a certain level. They can count. They can say, you know what? I'll make you part of my organization. Not just a worker. You want to
Mm.
become a management so that you can move on and manage people, manage other people. So I tell that to my kids all the time, no matter what they want to do, have to be a professional.
Yeah. Yeah. And it gives you so many options, right? I mean, there was a story that I heard, and I hear this all the time, but Les Brown, right? He was sharing a story of a guy he knew, and he was a great cook, great cook. And the guy said, yes, I want to open my own restaurant. And Celeste Brown said to him, okay, so what experience do you have? And he's like, well, I'm a great cook, I'm a great chef. Okay, but what experience do you have? He was like, listen, go work in a restaurant. Oh, but they don't pay that well. Go work in a restaurant. Be around the restaurant environment. See if you even like it. The guy went, worked at a restaurant. After a year or so, he came back and said, yeah, I'm just going to be a chef. I don't want to open my own restaurant. It's too much.
Yep.
It's too crazy.
Yep.
So you have to be in those environments. You have to actually see, because you may be looking at it from your couch like, oh, that looks so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have no idea what comes with it.
Yep.
So get that education.
Yep. That's what I talk to my kids about that all the time. Like I said, I talk to my kids every day. Um, and I have ones in Houston, one's in Miami, other ones in Miami, and of course the younger ones are living with me. The three oldest are on their own.
Mhm.
But I have a group chat every day. I leave like a little, pretty much every day. I would say every day, but a lot, like at least once, twice a week. I leave like a little video of things that I'm just thinking about, things I'm telling them like to think about. Like, yo, don't forget, like today you woke up, don't overthink things. Just remember God got our back. And I'm not talking to them, pointing to them. I'm talking to them like, yo, God got our back. Like, yo, we woke up this morning. Like we got another chance. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yo, look at this scripture I read. This would have hit me. It hit me like this. Y'all check it out for yourself. What y'all think? Send them videos talking about what's going on in the news. So, I'm still a father. Yeah, my role's a little bit different. That's what makes it hard to be a father from 31 to a 7-year old in the course of a day. I'm switching gears like crazy. I'm putting on different hats. I'm talking to them different.
Mhm.
I'm saying the same message. I'm just saying it different.
Mhm.
Same message. Yo, I'm your father. You can make it. I'm behind you. I love you. You are the best. You're the best thing. You carrying the family name. Y'all amazing. Reach to the top. But I'm saying it different to the 7-year-old when I'm looking down. And then the oldest one, I'm looking up, like, yo, you could do this, but it's the same thing. And it's like fatherhood never stops. My father, to the day that he died, you know what I'm saying? He just died a few months ago.
Mhm.
And yo, he was still my father. You know what I mean? Like, he still looked at me, and sometimes he was like, yo, I know right now I'm not who I was, back in the day, but yo, this is what I want. And I respected him because it's
Mhm.
my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, fathers are the greatest thing in the world.
Mhm.
I feel they're the greatest. And the reason why I say they're the greatest is because the need for fathers always becomes great when things go wrong. And the
Mhm.
last time I checked, there's a lot wrong in this world and in our lives. And that's when the fatherhood, every time, yo, we need more father figures. We need this. Kanye need his dad. Just talk to him right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants a father. You know what I'm saying? When stuff go haywire, where the dads at? Where the father figures in the school? Things are not right in that school. We need more men in that school, more fathers. We're always highly needed when it's things going wrong. And I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Mhm.
Because that's what we built for.
Yeah, indeed. So I want you to elaborate a bit on how your perspective, how your characteristics, how your behavior changed from your first child to your fifth child.
Yo, my first child, man, I tried to get everything right, tried to be perfect, tried to make her perfect, tried to get everything perfect. And you know what? I made a lot of mistakes. I made some really bad mistakes.
Mm.
Um, I always tell fathers, yo, love your kids hard so that when you make the mistakes, that they will look at you and be like, yo, daddy, that's all right. Even
Mm.
when they get older, they be like, yo, dad, that was kind of messed up what you did, but it's all right because I know you love me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So as the kids gone by, I was less of like trying to make everything perfect and just trying to fill the void that every child has for their father.
Mm.
That's all I tried to do. That's all I tried to do is fulfill that void. There, let me tell all the fathers out there, like, there is nobody that can fill your role. I'm sorry, like, the natural father is, there's a space in the child's heart for their natural father. Yeah, things may happen. There may be different situations where, another man may has to be a step parent or whatever. But still, that natural space can only be filled by the natural father. So which means that fathers, no matter how much we mess up, we still have a space. No matter how things sometimes are strained, we still have a space. That's what my dad taught me. He said, so don't stress so much on being perfect because you always got a space in the heart. And so when I learned those things, I didn't take myself too serious.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't. I just didn't. The other thing that I learned was I said to myself that I'm not trying to be a friend to my children. I'm trying to stay their father.
Mhm.
Now, I've gotten in some heated discussion with my children, and I tell them sometimes, I am not your friend. I am your father. Don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear from my perspective, whether if you agree with it or not. Because the older that they get, they can make their choice on what they want to do, what they want to listen to.
Mhm.
But I'm still going to speak my piece. I owe it to them to speak my piece and try to constantly feel that yearning that each child has for their natural father. I try to feel that on a regular basis in
Mm.
clever ways. Because,
Mhm.
one child may be open, the other child may be closed,
Very
the
different,
other
yeah.
one may be pointed to this way, and the other one's pointed that way, and the other one's going, and it happens like that. And I
Mhm.
just say, yo, I'm not going to take myself serious because every day that I wake up and I breathe, I have another chance to pour into that void, that space. My father poured into me so much that when he left, when he passed on, I truly have no regrets with him. I have a ton of great memories with my dad. And that's
Mm.
why I always just encourage other men like, yo, you always got time. Even if it's strained, you always got time. It's the
Mm.
one thing the movies get right, when they have a movie with a strained relationship with the father and the child, father goes, well, maybe I should reach out to him. They pick up the phone and the music go, and they go, hello? Hey, it's your father. How you doing? And then on the other end, they be like, I don't want to talk to you, click. And then the father just keeps trying. And eventually that heart just softens, man. It just eventually things can happen no matter what. I'm one of those guys that's optimistic about fatherhood and feel like even if there was major mistakes, it can be worked through
Mm.
because that yearning, that void is there. It always will be
Mm. Yeah. That makes me think of a. I don't know if I should say a current event, but it makes me think of. Are you familiar with 50 Cent
there. Of course. Oh yeah.
and
Yeah,
with
50 Cent and his son. Yes, Marquise. Yes.
Marquise? Yeah. And though we don't know the ins and outs, we don't know the private conversations, right? But I look on social media and I see just the different views where some people are upset at the son because it's like your father
Entitled.
is
Yeah.
50. Yeah, like you're a grown man now.
Mm-hmm.
You can go get it. He's still giving you money, not not millions or whatever, but he's still giving you money, but you're a grown man. And then you see the other side where it's like 50, man, that's your son though.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? So that just there just makes
You
me
know,
think because you see I'm saying that because you see pictures all over social media about how close they were when the child was a lot smaller
right,
and he was involved, right? But
right,
then as time and the child grows,
right.
then you see like the
And
separation.
I do want to speak to parental alienation. Okay, so let me speak to that. Um, Parental alienation is a clinical term for when one parent poisons the mind of a child to go against the other biological parent that may not be with them. That poisoning does not occur over like a short period of time.
Hmm.
It's a long period of time. Um, I would say that is a direct result, what we're viewing right now, of parental alienation. Now, I don't know the extent. It's a little bit both ways, but we're just seeing
Hmm.
some instances of parental alienation. And
Hmm.
what's sad about the situation is we're looking at it, it's it's at a crisis point.
Hmm.
But as I said, if you look at it through a different lens, you can see the responses from Marquise, which is 50 Cent's son.
Hmm.
He still is yearning for that void space that only his biological father can fill. And
Absolutely.
he's doing things to try to get him, hey, dad, can you pour into my life? And while I see both, I'm not going to fault 50. I'm not going to fault Marquise. They just at a crisis point right now. And 50, believe it or not, this is what I will say. He's being a father. Now, do I think he's going to stay like this forever? I do not. I know that sometimes as fathers, we have to teach the lesson. And sometimes teaching the lesson is something that we really don't enjoy, but we know it has to be done. And because he's a public figure, he has to do some things publicly. We don't live that life where he can't go to McDonald's in peace, you know. So he has to do his things publicly. So I understand from a father perspective in dealing with your child. I understand maybe what he's doing. I can't shut it down all the way. And I understand the situation and what's happening. There's a lot of hurt that's
Yeah.
going on both sides
Yeah.
that will be addressed because of life. Life will address it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way life is, man. We always gonna find our parents, man. Even if it's a strained relationship, something's gonna happen. We gonna have to deal with them some way, somehow. It could be the death of someone else. You gotta deal. It could just, but I don't know. God just has a way, and I'm a Christian man. God has a way of giving us multiple chances to get it right. And I don't think he ever gives up until we leave this earth. So, guys out there, fathers, if you are like at a point where you feel like, yo, it's too far gone, it ain't too far gone, man. Because if you get, say, 5% back, 5% of a good relationship back, that's 5% more than you would have had if you just gave up forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always feel it's time. It's always time to get back, always time to heal it. But yeah, that situation is at a crisis. But I truly think it's gonna be beautiful, man, in the end. Somehow, some way. I truly think.
Hmm. Hmm.
I truly think. It's bad now. It is bad, but it's gonna work itself out.
And it's been bad for a couple
Yeah,
years now.
yeah, for a couple years. But you gotta remember, parental alienation is like brainwashing.
Yeah.
When a child hears your daddy ain't no good, look at how I'm living, look at how we living over there, that ain't right. Yo, you think Marquise got that on his own?
Right.
No, absolutely not. When you hear him talk and all his lives and all his, his social media interviews and and things that he gets on, he sounds like what comes out of his mouth sounds like the little seeds of alienation. Your father ain't no good. He ain't no good. Look how he living over there. You shouldn't be wearing no Adidas over here. You should be wearing Versace, like what he has, and with his other children. That's what we hear right now. That's adult stuff. That's seasoned adult stuff. That's some hate talk right there.
Hmm.
You don't get that from just out the air, out the blue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I remember briefly when my parents got divorced. I was young. I was like 5 years old, 6 years old. And I remember a little bit of those battles and those struggles. And I used to hate when my mom would say, oh, well, your father, blah, 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 blah. And then my dad, when I would go visit him, he would say, well, your mom has a way to, and I was just, and I'm young,
Yeah,
but, and it wasn't, I mean, it was bad to me as a child, but me here looking bad on it, I see levels. And,
yep,
it wasn't crazy. Um, but in life, you separate, you get divorced, and you don't really like that person, for that
yeah,
time being or whatever.
absolutely, absolutely.
So I get it. But I used to hate it. Even as a kid, I would, I don't want to hear about mom. I don't want to hear about dad like in that. Like, um, but
Because you had that
as
you had that void for the both of them, and you just
yeah.
wanted them to pour into that. You didn't care about all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
my kids, my older three, they went through that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that yeah, that was a hard time for everybody. And those are the mistakes that were made. And like I said, even though mistakes are made, you always have time to get back. You know, like I can't stress that more. I made so many mistakes as a father, like
Mm.
literally. But one mistake that I did not make was letting my kids know that I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Yeah.
son yesterday, you know, he was having a hard day at school, came home having a rough time. You know what I did? Yo, I ain't ask him no questions. I just went up to him and hugged him. And he was trying to pull away, and I ain't let him leave. I hugged him for like probably like 5 minutes.
Mm.
Just hugged him. Like smushed his head right here in my chest. Just smushed his head. Didn't let him leave. He's like, Daddy, Daddy. I say, you like it though, right? He said, yeah. But can you let go? You know what I'm saying? You know, he's 12, you know what I mean? But I just held him because I know that that boy, whatever he feeling, I know just that nonverbal hug is pouring into his spirit, man, pouring into his life and making him feel like, you know what? Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I can make it to the rest of the day.
Mm.
You know, that's fatherhood right there. Yo, only we could do that, man. Yo, we got the strength of a God
Mm.
and the gentleness of a baby
Mm.
all rolled up, and we exercise that every day. Think of how beautiful that is.
Mhm.
We can go to battle out in the world, walk back in the house and be a wuss. Yo, yo, who could do that? Only a father. And then walk back out and be like a beast. You know what I mean? Like that's fatherhood right there. That's
Mm.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. My son sees, and he's 5, so he observes a whole lot. He's beginning to talk a lot more, and I don't know if I like it because sometimes I'm like, bruh, we ain't even talking to you. Like why are you over here? You know what I mean? But I just marvel at just his at this journey and just his growth. And he'll so even times where I'm talking to someone else, right? I look at the corner of my eye and I see him
Yeah.
and he's watching
Yeah.
and he's just checking out what daddy says and
Facts.
how daddy responds and
You
blah blah.
know, the mere fact that you have your son with you, you're pouring into his life. You're pouring into his spirit more than you realize.
Hmm.
Um, you asked about what's the difference with my children from the
Mm-hmm.
top to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've always done, another tip for the fathers, if anything, whenever I was doing business, I would always take one kid with me, not all of them, one.
Mm-hmm.
I would have the talk right before I walk into the meeting or whatever I was doing. Yo, I look at them, be like, seen and not heard. You know what I'm saying? I was like, look, daddy, you may do some business. I want you to just observe. Look, listen. Somebody speak to you, just be cool. But I need, yo, you coming with me? We doing this thing, right? You'd be amazed at the stories that my oldest will tell me. Daddy, I remember when you took me to blah, 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 and them people was over there cursing and all that. And I just thought it was interesting. And, you know, I would look at you and you would look at me and I'd be like, don't tell your mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it was, yo, those were those moments that they remember because they remember, like, yo, my dad was doing something important and he only bought me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't try to get all my kids together and do everything with them at once. I try to get them one by one and do things with them individually to
Mm-hmm.
show them that I love them
Yeah.
with my time. You know what I'm saying? With my time. So my daughter number 3, yo, every year we supposed to go to Halloween Horror Nights, right? We didn't go this year because of some spiritual reasons. And it was cool. But every year, that's me and her's trip. My son, I got a trip with him. We go up to New York City. We fly to New York. All the men, all the fathers in my family, we go to New York and we go see the Knicks and we spend the weekend. So that's me and my son. My youngest daughter, I take her out, take her with me to different things. So every child, my oldest, I took her to Mardi Gras. Where Mardi Gras parades where the women pull up the shirt, for the beads, and she was right there. I just told her, don't tell your mother, but she was right there. Yo, my second daughter, we had a big trip. I took her to Washington, D.C., go around, see the cherry blossoms and walk around Washington, D.C. And we went up there just for her. We flew up there. I think it was like a 2-day trip, something like that. Whatever. I flew up there. I was stationed up there and I flew up there. It was just me and her. Those are kind of big things, but I'm just trying to bring to the fact that as a father, you have to spend time with each one, private time. That's the true pouring. That's the one that sticks. I don't know how a Nick Cannon does it. When you got 10 kids, 12 kids. It's cool when they babies. But when they start talking and having their own thoughts, that's when it gets a little tough. Can he do it? Yeah. But he ain't going to be able to run like he running professionally. He going to have to kind of, let some things fall aside. That's another thing I'll say as a father is that, professionally, you're going to have to like sometimes take a L. Sometimes the best opportunity is the wrong opportunity at the time.
At the
So,
time.
you know what? I could have had a job being a DJ on a cruise ship. But guess what? I would have been gone for like 4 or 5 months. That ain't good for my family. Yo, I got all the way to the end. They was like, yo, if you want it, you hired. You made it all the way through all the auditions, everything. I was like, yo, I can't do that to my kids, man. I had to turn it down. I said, I got to go another way up the mountain. Got to choose another path. I chose them. I chose my kids, man. Sometimes as fathers, we got to choose our kids. And they don't need to know it. They don't need to know it. We need to know it. Just we, like, you and I talking. We both fathers, so we talking. But as a father, I had to let that go, yo. I did not want to. I really wanted that job, man. I wanted that. I wanted to be the brand ambassador for Carnival Cruise Lines, but it was the worst thing for being a father, being in my family, being the leader of my family.
Yeah. Right there, man, I commend you because that's not an easy decision.
Nope.
And as men, in our masculine essence, right? What we focus on is the career, the goal, being able to provide, and just being able to win, right? In our careers, and we have our our uh, our vision, and many times for ladies, right? For the females, they want love. They want the family unit.
Right.
And the man wants the vision.
Yep.
Right? So to be able to, in those moments, to pause and say, as bad as the man in me wants this, yeah, I gotta be a father.
Yeah, gotta be a father. Yeah, gotta be a father. Yo, it's the greatest job and the hardest job on earth. Yeah, you get crappy gifts that don't even make any sense. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, come on,
Yeah,
fathers.
yeah,
Like,
because we be getting it. Yo, I've tried everything to get better gifts. I mean, this is a light moment. I've even given lists. Here's a list of things Daddy wants for his birthday. These are things that Daddy wants for Christmas. The things that Daddy wants for Father's Day. Give me a pair of socks. I want Adidas socks, no show. That's what I want. I still end up getting N1 socks. I don't like N1 socks. I want Adidas no-show socks. I can't get it. Yeah, we get the bad ties and all sorts of crazy things that we get. Yo, chalk it up. It's like a rite of passage when you get bad gifts as a father. Just chalk it up. It's a rite of passage. We all get them. Am I right?
yeah.
You get some crappy gifts.
I mean, right now I get like the arts and crafts, which is
Yep.
cute.
Yep.
Which is cute.
That's right.
But
Yep.
yeah.
Yes.
So we'll see as he gets older.
Yeah. Yo, the commercials on TV do not help.
No.
Society does not help. The stuff that they talk about we get is like, yo, y'all can't do better than this.
Tool set
What?
or
We ain't
or
trying
ties.
to fix
Tool set or ties. It's like,
oh my goodness, man. That's fatherhood for you,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fatherhood for you.
yeah. So I want to go a little deep,
Okay.
and as you mentioned, it's not easy, right? We make a lot of mistakes during this journey of fatherhood. So, can you think of a challenging time, or is there any challenging time that you would like to share that you endured between you and your father?
Between me and my father. Wow. I felt like as I got older with my father that I wanted him to be in my life more.
Mm.
Um
What age was this?
and this is when I was older. And the
Okay.
reason why I say that, like when I would call back to the house, I was already out doing my career, had my own family, but when I would
Mm.
call back to the house, he wasn't that chatty with me.
Mm.
So this is more of a later thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to work my channels. I was like, yo, mom, I had to call my mother. I was like, yo, mom, can you get with daddy? Like, tell him when I be calling him, I be needing to speak to him. Like, I need for him to help me out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm calling him. So I think the way that I got around that was I realized that the relationship changed
Mm.
because I got older. I was a man now. I was a father. And the way I was thinking about him was like young, teenager, and father, which as we get older, the father role changes. And I
Yeah.
really had to check my own self and realize that, yo, I'm the adult. This is what I had to realize, that my relationship with my dad was now on my terms.
Mm.
I was the one that dictated how, when, and how much we spoke
Mm.
and how much we interacted with each other. So if I wanted my dad to spend time with me, even as an adult man, that means I would have to be like, yo, dad, what are you doing in 3 weeks? I want to go out with you. I dictated that. If I wanted to be chatty with him, if I wanted him to be chatty with me, I would have to call a little bit more often to open that door
Mm.
so that we was talking more often.
Mm.
I realized like I had to humble myself and realize, yo, it's really me. Like it's in my court now. It's not really him. He did his job. He paid his dues. He poured into me. Now
Mm.
it's up to me to realize the change of the relationship. So that
Mm.
that was the struggle that I had to go through. And I was frustrated because I felt like, yo, why isn't our relationship like it was before? But
Mm.
it was really because I hadn't matured in that area with him. And I learned that. And it was a hard lesson. I kind of simplified it, but I
Yeah.
wanted more from my dad. But I realized as an older man, it was really up to me. So I always laugh when I hear people say, yo, and it'd be an older dude, be like, yo, I don't mess with my father. And in my head, I'd be saying, like, but you in control now. You the one that run the show. So if you don't want to mess with your dad, that's not his fault. Like, are you doing everything that you need to do and continuing to do? I didn't say it was gonna be easy. I
Yeah.
didn't say that. I'm saying as adults, as kids that grow, we become more in charge. And then the same with my kids. That's what I tell them all the time. Look, you're going to get to a point where you get your own house, where you get your own degrees and start making your own money, and you start to dictate how our relationship is going to be. And I got to be okay with whatever it is. But I'm trying to pour into them as much as I can now so that they'll be like, yeah, yeah, I gotta be connected with my dad. Even as an older female or older male, I gotta be connected with my dad. That's
Yeah.
what I would want.
Yeah. That reminds me of sports. When you get into sports when you're small, right? They do drills and they teach you certain quotes and sayings to say, and you wear the uniform and it looks nice and you take pictures, right? But then as you move up the ranks and as you get older playing sports, the coaches, that relationship changes,
Yep.
right? They
Yep.
start getting tougher.
Yep.
And then practices feel like real games
Yep.
now.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean? So as you're talking, I'm saying, man, I feel like I don't make enough effort, but I have it flipped because inside I'm like, I wish my dad would probably call me a little more and make more of an effort. And then I'm like, but am I? Am I saying, hey, pops, let's do something? And at times I do,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But yeah, but the roles have changed a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It really does
Yeah,
change as we go through the circle of life.
yeah.
You know, it really does change. And then, then he's going, your father is going to start depending on you for some of his needs in
Hmm.
different ways. And that happens in the circle of life too. And yo, I watched my father, decay and pass away. And I'll never forget the one time when I went up, he went to the hospital and he was in the hospital and he was freaking out. Like he was really disoriented and he was quite combative. And I looked in his eyes and I was like, yo, dad, like, yo, you could let go. Like it's okay here. I want to do everything I can so you don't have to feel like that. And he was, yo, when I tell you, when I looked in my dad's eyes, it was like he was scared where he was in his mind.
Mm.
And the greatest honor that I could do for him is like get the doctors, get the hospice. Yo, all right, we gotta get him comfortable because he can't be like this. No, I'm not being selfish. I'm not trying to make my dad live long in this agony. We need to make him comfortable. And that that right there was that was like the roles reversed. But it was because he poured into me as a young child that I was able to do the same thing to him in his time of need, which is what I'm doing with my kids. And
Mm.
the circle of life, it's gonna be the same way, man.
Yeah.
The kids gonna be the ones that are looking at me like, yo, dad, this is what we gonna do for you. Because you can't think right now. You can't think for yourself right now. Like
Mm.
that's the humbling thing about being a father is knowing that it's part of the circle of life that we're all going through. It's not anything new, but we have like a duty and to actually keep trying, never give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn
man.
it, Smooth.
Yo, being a father, like I said, it's tough, man. It's tough. Y'all been through a lot as a father. Definitely been through a lot, but still the greatest job on earth. And I know, like I said, when things go wrong, that's when we need it.
Hmm.
When things are right, that's when we get kicked to the curb and we ain't no good and all that. When things is fine, but when everything is toe up, call your father.
Yeah.
Yep. Call the father. At school, they got the mom's number on speed dial. But when there's something really going on, they be like, yo, does he have a father? Does she have a father? Let's call them.
Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to take it a little bit lighter. Maybe this is lighter.
Okay.
Maybe you get embarrassed during this segment. We're going to see. So, normally on the show, we have color time, right? Where we go over colors and you share what the color means to you. But during this theme, I've been kind of testing the dads a bit,
Okay.
right? So, as you have 5 children, let's go through each one. Your firstborn,
Yeah.
what's the favorite color?
I don't know. I don't know what a person's favorite color.
Audience, do you see a pattern here?
I have listen. Those
Dads don't know
look,
their
I
children's
barely
favorite
remember
color.
her birthday, yo. Nah, let me stop. Hey, look,
I mean,
All the
looking good
fathers
for it.
know. We know. If somebody was to say, "Yo, when was your child born?" Our eyes go up in our head. We start calculating, and we all have some little formula that we figure out all of our kids' birthdays. So I got these numbers like 12, 27. You know, I got these numbers in my head that I string them. Yeah, I know. But colors, whatever, man. Yo, my daughters, man, my first-born daughter, man, yo, her tastes change every moment. I wouldn't know. I have no idea.
Uh, like even as a child.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like that wasn't something I keyed in on,
All right. So since he bombed
man.
at
Bomb.
fatherhood color time, right? Made us. I was hoping in season 8, in episode 82, that we could redeem ourselves, but all right. So we gonna tweak this, right? So your firstborn. Um, can you name something that is or was most important to her?
The thing that was most important to her was NSYNC.
Oh, the band.
The
Okay.
group NSYNC, yeah, she was
Okay.
NSYNC fan. And then when we moved to New Orleans, it turned into the whole New Orleans bounce movement. So that was Lil Wayne, Cash Money. Yeah,
Yeah.
we went from NSYNC, bye, 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 bye. Dun, 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 dun. We went to booty shaking. I was like, what happened?
How was that transition as a father?
Yo, actually, I wanted it because I didn't necessarily like her how she was flipping out over in sync. I didn't necessarily like that, but that was because of where we live. Then when we moved to New Orleans, I made sure that she went to a school that where she wasn't the minority, where she was a majority in the student racial makeup. And when that happened, she connected with her culture, which is I specifically fought and made sure that she went into that type of school and she connected with her culture. So I actually loved it and I welcomed it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just teach my kids like not to, there would never really be anything that I would tell them like, yo, you can't do that. I teach my kids more of like, yo, let me try to explain to you what you're listening to. And then you start making your own decisions.
Mhm.
You know, I really try to get them to think instead of just saying you can't have that or you can't
Mhm.
listen to that or you can't do that. I'll be like, yo, let's think about this for a minute. Let's go through that. Let's have a conversation. Yo, let's chop it up a little bit. Yo, look at that. Look at what's going on. Yo, look at that thing over there. Yo, what you think about that? And like, just try to listen.
Mm. Okay.
So yeah, NSYNC and Cash Money Records, the whole thing.
Mhm. Okay. The second eldest now.
Okay.
What was important to her?
Oh, dance all day.
Okay. What
Dance
kind of dance?
everything. It was mainly like modern dance, liturgical dance, hip hop dance. She was just connected with dance. Everything was always dance as a little child.
Mm.
Dance, dance, dance. Yo, actually, I raised my second born daughter. I was like a stay-at-home dad because I had got a deal with the government where they sent me to school for free. Sent me to school full time. So, I got a paycheck, but I went to school. But all my classes were at night. So I was a stay-at-home dad all day. And so, yeah, I got a chance to, like really raise her, like from a true small infant. And but yeah, it's always been dance, always been music and dance and being a little bit eclectic and creative. That's always been her thing.
Mhm. Okay. Third born.
All right, the third born. All right, she was named after a borough in New York City, Brooklyn. And Brooklyn was all about, she just wanted to be in the middle of the pack. She
Mm.
wasn't a leader. She wasn't a follower. She just always wanted to be in the middle because of her sisters. Um, but her main thing was just she was chill. She just liked peace. That was really her goal, was to have
Mhm.
everything just peaceful. Cause she ain't want no smoke. She ain't want to get involved with nothing. She just wanted peace. She liked to dance. She
Mhm.
liked to listen to music. But it was like a lot. So because that's what her sisters were doing.
Mhm.
She liked hip hop because that's what her dad was doing. She liked, seeing me DJing and messing around with that because that's what she just liked, to be in the middle. So she was about peace. And you know what? As she's gotten older, she's 21 now. I'm learning that was a dope thing to strive for.
Mhm.
I didn't at the time. I was just like, what are you interested in? But now I understand. She just likes peace. She likes calmness and people to be in harmony. And that's a dope
Mhm.
thing to strive for.
That's necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody trying to lead
Yeah.
chaos.
Exactly. Everybody's trying to be the leader of the pack and all that. But she's striving for peace, and she is a boss right now. Like, she making things happen. She's gonna be a doctorate. She's about to finish her bachelor's, getting ready to slide right into. She's trying to be a doctor in physical therapy. She got like 3 more years. She is like killing the game, killing.
Mm.
She's gonna be Doctor Brooklyn, and that's what I call her right now. When I see her, yo, what's up, Doctor Brooklyn? I'm already putting on her what she's gonna be as her
Mhm.
dad. I'm telling her, what's up, Doctor Brooklyn? Doctor Brooklyn, how you doing?
Hmm. I love it. Now to the sun, right?
Woo! Okay.
Things change.
Yeah, boy. Beyblade, Thomas the Train, Goku, anime, what's the scooters, bicycles, Pokemon cards. Oh my Naruto. Oh my god, like, yo, that is dude all day. All day. Video games, NBA Live.
Hey.
But he still can't beat his dad in them fighting games.
Yeah,
Not,
yeah.
yeah, not yet, not yet. I keep on saying, all right, this old man strength getting ready to kick in, and he can't beat me. He can't beat me yet. But he trying. He trying.
um, so I want to stay here just a little bit. Um, what can you think back to when you realized that this fourth born was going to be different,
Yeah.
right? This was a son. Uh, what what was your response? So your initial response.
Yo, oh my goodness. I don't even know if I should be saying this. Yo, I had, yeah, I'm gonna say it.
Raise the volume, y'all.
Yeah,
Raise the
yo, yeah,
volume.
raise the volume. First marriage,
Oh
got a
yeah.
vasectomy. Okay. So the marriage was broken, done. I was like, yo, do I want more kids? Like, nah. Yo, I fell in love. Then I was like, yo, maybe I want another kid, right? Went to the doctor. He's like, yo, it's been like 5 years, 6 years. The odds is like slim. I was like, yo, let's do it. So he goes in there and he connects the plumbing back up. And, then,
Hold on.
yeah,
I must be ignorant. I didn't even know that you could go back.
yo, you could, no, but the
I thought it was
story's,
a done
oh,
deal.
listen, the story's not over. This is, yo, I'm telling you, yo, I'm spilling it all right now.
You're hearing it first on the
But listen,
Blaze the Line
but
podcast.
listen, check this out. Yo, go and get it hooked back up. So the doc's like, look, your chances of making a child is like down like to 60%. He said, but look, just don't stress. He's like, when you get married and all that sort of stuff, and y'all start trying, if it don't work after 6 months or so, then come back and see me. My wife, we get married. So this was during like the engagement period that I get it rehooked back up. Like, it's like, hey, I'm going to be, yeah, we can at least try. So we get married. The doc, now she had some female things going on. The doc's like, yo, you down to like 70%. So now you got these two people with these low percentage get together. Yo, we got married in October. December, we was pregnant. She was pregnant. And so, it's like, okay, that worked, right? When we found out that it was going to be a boy, it was like, I wanted a boy before, but I thought that God, like that dream died. And I just didn't think about it. But when I found out it was a boy, I really couldn't fathom, like, this is going to be another boy. And I'm going to be dealing with boy things like funky breath and funky clothes and destroyed rooms and how boys do things and how we talk and we go about life. Yo, it was a boy. And it was like, when I held him and I seen that third leg, I was like Kunta Kinte, man. Yes! Yes! I said, we got 3 legs. Even I didn't believe it until I saw the third leg, man. When I saw the third leg, I was like, I can't believe it. This is really happening. Now check this out. I thought I was done. I said, being a responsible father, I'm kind of old. Yeah, this is it. It's crazy. So I'm thinking in my mind, we gotta shut the parlor down again. A few years later, the daughter comes. 5 years later, the daughter comes. And I'm thinking like, we gotta shut the parlor down. So we go in and we shut the parlor down. I elect to go in and shut the parlor down. So 30 days later, story's not over. 30 days later, doc says, okay, we need to test how much count you got. And the doc goes, you got more sperm. We got to do this again. And your eyes is like that. That's how my eyes were. Like, what?
How did
He
that
was like,
happen?
you are more fertile. You doing more stuff. I don't understand. So we got to do this again. So yeah, Smoove is done. Because I'm sure that doc went in there pulling stuff, cutting everything.
Throw this away.
He's like, we supposed to cut 7 inches. Let's get like 2 feet out, man.
Wow.
And I will tell anybody, don't have kids late, man. I don't even know how people do it. Being a father as a old father to young kids is not easy, man. But I am blessed and I'm so happy to have them, man. But yeah, so that's the story of how many operations that I had. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 down.
Jeez. 4 for the 4th. Jeez.
I tell you, man. I'm a real father, man. These are real stories here.
Yeah. So all this, jeez, all this leads to now your 4th daughter.
My 4th daughter, right, who is 7 now. She is into acting. We took her to Hollywood. She's into show business, singing. She makes songs. She writes songs. She draws. She's very creative. Her mind is always thinking. She's always trying to imitate. That's what she's into right now. And we took out to LA for a workshop for a few days. Like I think it was like 6 days or so. And they're very interested in her, but unfortunately, when we came back from LA, my wife caught COVID, man. We almost lost her. So that kind of like disrupted
Wow.
everything. We almost lost my wife, not my daughter. We almost lost my wife. And that kind of disrupted everything. But that's what she's into. She's really into that acting life. Really. Like, right before that we did the podcast, man, she showed me this picture that she wrote, and she writes little books and things like that. shows her progression in life and how, when she gonna get married, and she draws the pictures, and the pictures are pretty good too.
Well, one of the themes for the podcast is going to highlight the youth because I feel that they have. I feel like the youth is so damn talented.
Yeah,
We were talented, right?
yeah,
But I feel, man, the youth has so much access, technology, and the ancestral power has just gotten stronger and stronger. Cause these kids are killing it.
yep,
Some great and some in a different way,
yep,
right?
yep.
Depending. But these young kids are courageous.
That's right.
They ain't holding back.
They not
They,
holding back.
so, hmm. All right, happy to hear that. So you, I mean, so at this point, um, in a couple years, you can just chill, right? I mean,
Nah.
no,
Always be a dad, man. Always
no.
be a father, because
You
like
don't want to profit off of your kids.
yeah, not even all my kids are not even married yet. I have one that's married. They all not married, so they all still out there. The one, two of the older three are out dating, and you still need to be a father for that. You got to talk to
Sure,
them about that. Talk
sure.
to them about, like, who you dating right now? Who you talking to? Like, what they talking about? Like, you still got to do that. You got to be a dad. You got to ask them the questions. It's the same as what's going on in school today. But I got to ask them. All right, I see you took a picture where you was at the baseball game, but who was you with? Who took the picture?
Who
You
took
know,
the picture?
who took the picture? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't dumb. Like, you showing pictures of you, but who took the picture of you? Come on, daddy ain't dumb.
It's so funny when I hear ladies say, "Oh yeah, like I travel alone," and it's like, "But who's taking these
Who took
pictures?"
that? And they be some nice pictures.
It's all clear and precise. Who's
Exactly.
taking these pictures? While you traveling alone, I don't see nobody else in those pictures,
Exactly.
but somebody's taking those pictures.
Somebody taking them pictures. But yeah, I still be a dad to them too, man. Even though, so the job's never done, man. Job
Yeah.
is never done. Never done. That's to the day we die. My father was my father and a grandfather and a father to some, to the day he passed. The day he passed, yo.
Mm,
I was his caregiver, for the last 5 years of his life, but he was still my father.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless.
Yeah.
Yo, Scotty. He'd be like, yo, Scotty. I need the barber to come over. All right, daddy, I got you, man. He ain't asked me like a child. He asked me like, yo, I need you to do something for me. I need you, just like we tell our kids, yo, can you get that remote now that you up? Can you give me that remote real quick? You know,
Even if you ain't up,
that's right.
can,
Yo, yo,
yo, bring the remote.
go give me the remote over there. Yo, that's what my dad did to me. And guess what I did? Got on the phone. Yo, my dad need a cut. When can you come over? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Did any of your kids have a bond with your dad?
Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me tell you about that. If you are a father and your father is living, it is up to you as the father to foster the relationship with the grandchild. Okay? I know that sounds backwards, but people, you have to understand. So yes, that meant that as children, I used to have to get up on the weekend and take my children over to my mom and dad's house so that they can start to build the relationship. But here's the greatest thing about it. When they get of age, you don't have to do it as much. The child will want to go to the grandparents' house and it becomes easy. Then the grandparents like, oh, can we take them for 3 weeks? Can we take them for the summer? And then those type of relationships happen. So every single one of my kids, knew my father intimately, and that was directly from my fostering that relationship, laying the groundwork, bringing them over there. So that was my duty, was for them to have a relationship with their grandfather and their grandmother by
Mm.
bringing them over there on a regular basis. And anytime anything went down, I brought them over there. And then after a while, next thing I know, my father was like, yo, we want them for the summer. They'd go up for 2 months to give me a break, and I loved it. And guess what? When my father passed, that was all the stories that my kids talked about. Yeah, I remember when we went to grandpa's house and we did this and when we did that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know that was because of what I did.
Yeah.
And that was my fatherly duty, was to allow them to do that. And I never understand now when I see people thinking that the grandparent has to foster the relationship. It's the opposite.
Mm. I needed to hear this.
Yeah.
I needed to hear this.
It is all our duty as a father to make sure that they know their grandfather. You
Mm.
know what I did with my son? So, like I said, I took care of my father the last 5 years of his life. So sometimes I would tell my son, yo, I'm going outside. I need for you to handle your grandfather for an hour. It's just you and him. Guess what my son talks about now? I remember when I used to do this for grandpa.
Yeah.
Same thing with my youngest daughter.
Yeah.
Yo, I need for you to do this for grandpa.
Yeah.
Facts, man. And
Yeah.
that's a tough one. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying it's easy because it's hard. You know, we busy. But
Mm-hmm.
yo, you got to do it. We got to do it, man. I don't have my father anymore. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm a grandfather now. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so the relationship that I have with my granddaughter is mainly driven by my daughter, not
Yeah.
me. Mainly driven by my daughter.
Mm. Yeah. Different perspective.
Facts. Now there may be a situation where the grandparents have to step in. Um, Even then, the parent has to allow that to some extent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The grandparent just can't come in there and just snatch things up.
Mm-mm.
That's gonna cause an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So it still falls on the father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whew. In this episode, man, we spoke about
We got
so
butt,
much.
yo, and I got butt naked up in this one.
This is definitely a replay. Make sure if you watched this, if you came in late and you only caught part of it, listen, man. Every part was different of this episode. Every single part was definitely different. Um, Smoove shared
Intimate. Facts.
um, some intimate. I don't want to say parts. That's wrong choice of words. But some intimate seasons in his life,
Yeah.
for sure. And as a father of 5 kids, each of those is different, right? Even the daughter, just because they're female,
That
they're
don't mean
still
nothing.
different.
Yeah, they all different. Everyone
Still
is different.
different. So you had to shift, you had to grow. I'm sure in each child allowed you to learn more about yourself.
Yeah. They show me that I'm really not as good as I think I am. That I've got shortcomings and I've got feelings and I make mistakes and I have sometimes I don't have the stamina that I thought I did. But boy, I love my kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that anybody who knows me, they know I love my kids, man. Love them.
Mm-hmm.
Love my kids deeply, yo. Deeply. Deep. Nobody will ever take that away. And it hurts me when I see other men that don't want to be a father because of whatever the reasons.
Yeah.
And I just like I look at it and I just say, dude, like you missing out. You have no idea. Even if you don't have the money that you think you need, or if you don't have the time that you think you need, but just a little bit will fill your life more than any job, any other situation. Just the love from a kid is just your own child is
Yeah.
something that it's indescribable, man. It's just
Mm.
indescribable. When I hug my son and I held him in that lock, and he was trying to pull away, and then at one point he just hugged me back. I realized that hug was for him, but I really needed it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just be needing that hug, man.
Yeah.
When I walk through the door, I want them to come running towards me, man. That's a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Smooth. In closing, um, what's your message to fathers?
Yo, my message to fathers are: we are the best of the best. We are the strongest. We are the weakest. I know we get a bad rap. I know we're always told that we need to do more. We not the best, but we are. We the leaders of the family. When things go wrong, they always looking for us. They look for our muscle. They look for the muscle of our emotions. They look for our physical muscle. We can only pour into our children the only way that a father could. A mother cannot be a father. Please stop that foolishness. Don't
Mm.
believe it. It does not exist. It doesn't work. It never has and it never will.
Mm.
So, fathers, I will tell you, you always have a chance. Any day that you wake up, you have another chance. And with technology, we can be a father even more creatively. If you have adult children, yo, just make a little video, you doing whatever. It only has to be a minute long, and just tell them how you feel. Even if you made a mistake. Hey, I was thinking about the other day and I made a mistake, and I just wanted to tell you I love you.
Mm.
And then send that to them. You know what the best thing about those types of things is? It's one way. They can't turn it off. They're gonna look at it. And what it goes out in the air and it goes in there and it's gonna resonate somewhere. Even if they push it out, even if it's not right, still do it. Be a father all the way into the end. My dad was a father to me, and I'm gonna be a father to my kids and my grandkids to the end. So we have time, and I'm so proud to be a father. And I'm so proud when I see other fathers being fathers. And I'm so proud when those fathers are like, yo, I'm going to try to get it together with my children. I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah. Yeah. Smooth. We appreciate you here on the Blaze Line podcast. And me, just one to one, man. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for sure. As it's not easy, but it's necessary. So it's fathers like that. So thank you for choosing fatherhood,
Right.
choosing your kids, man. For sure, for sure. Right here. This was episode 82 of the Blaze the Line podcast.
Woo.
This particular episode will be available on replay video on YouTube right after we end. The audio version will be available tomorrow on all your major streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and so on and so forth. Right now, we are streaming in 28 countries, about. Um, so tune in, man. Share this message. Share this episode. You just never know who needs to hear this. I'm the damn host, and I needed it. Right?
Yeah.
Straight up. So share this. Share this with new fathers, with up and coming fathers, with potential fathers, grandfathers. Share this message for sure, for sure. This was the Blaze the Line podcast. As we always say up in here, peace and love.